Welcome to the Daily Beast podcast. I'm Joanna Coles, Chief Content Officer of the Daily Beast, and I have terrible lighting compared to Sam B. I have been watching this podcast on YouTube to talk to people who are engaging and leaving comments, and I'm horrified at how bad I look compared to you.
I think that is silly. And I want to introduce myself. I'm Samantha Bee, Chief Content Officer of Edible Flowers, which I brought for you to snack on. And perhaps that is the reason for this incredible inner glow that has nothing to do with this giant light that is facing me.
Sneak eating flowers.
Sneaky. They're so delicious. You just pop one in your mouth and
oh my God, you're going to be on Meghan's season 2, aren't you? And I'm going to be left in the cold because I was more critical than you were of the show.
You know what? I would thrive on that show. And in fact, I brought you a jar of my very own honey.
You did?
The honey that my baby bees
where is
birthed.
it? Where is it?
It's in my purse.
Okay. Of course, you walk around with a jar of honey in your purse. I'm very excited to have an edible flower, but I feel like first we have to get into it because there is a lot to get into.
There is so much to get into.
Yeah, and I'm wavering on Elon again because I know I go back and forth on Elon. I'm wavering. I agree his messaging is not good, but I spoke to a friend yesterday who'd been talking to Elon.
Was it the Nazi salute? I'm just wondering about the messaging.
The messaging is his weakest element. But she said she had been talking to Elon and she said that he's going to do this for 4 months. His thing is, I'm doing it for 4 months. I can't do it any longer than that because it's just going to mess with my business. But the thing that has, I think, surprised him and shocked him and made him think, is this the right thing for him to do, is just that his security now is out of control. It's so insane. The threats he gets. He's been living at the White House, sleeping at the White House, and he just gets death threats all the time, and all the people around him get threats.
Right.
Which is the opportunity cost of doing what he's doing, right?
Well,
is opportunity cost the right? Am I using the right? Is that the right use of opportunity cost?
I think it is.
It might not be.
Okay.
But the cost of it actually is immense.
Well, my follow-up question is has the time clock started on the 4 months? Because I would like to know that
yes,
the
I
time
think the time
that
clock is. Yes, I think we're sort of 6 weeks in.
Okay, so that counts toward the 4 months. Well, I await the end of those 4 months.
Okay, well, and who knows? Maybe he'll still be there in a year. Who knows? But I thought that was interesting that he had said he's not sure it was worth it.
I think
the impact has been so great on his own life. And I thought that was interesting.
Yes, and the fact that people are not buying Teslas and people who have Teslas are madly trying to sell them.
I gave my Tesla back. I told you I gave my Tesla back. Partly though because it didn't work.
I think it's very funny. Probably I made a face when you said that you're wavering on Elon Musk in the same way that last week when you said that Trump's performance was masterful. I made such a face. I wish we could screen grab
a lot of people who commented didn't like that.
Yeah?
But I thought he flattened the Democrats. He had total control of that room. And the more Democrats deny it, the worse it's going to be for them to get back up on their feet.
I'm making another face because I think that, when you look at we're talking about the congressional address, obviously, and certainly Democrats looked, they looked cranky and they had these dinky little signs and it was pretty embarrassing.
It looked like they were auctioning off democracy.
Okay,
it was ridiculous.
Then you look at the other side of the room and you just have these cackling idiots just clapping and standing. It wasn't exactly a flattering portrait of strength and democracy on the other side of the aisle. So I don't know. I think the whole thing was trash, if I may.
I might need an edible flower right now to give me... is there any sugar in those things?
God, no. Pansies. So delicious and so nutritious.
I'm surprised you even knew where to buy them because you were so withering about Meghan putting flowers on everything that I'm impressed you actually secretly knew exactly where to get them.
I knew exactly where to get them because I confess that I do like to bake and I have decorated a cake. Occasionally.
I've decorated cakes too.
But
I just wouldn't turn it into a television show because you grew up in England. This was a basic skill.
Of course.
You made a Victoria sponge almost every other day when you came home from school.
Just like the nuns of Call the Midwife. There's always a cupboard, there's always a tin,
Yep.
and there's always a Victoria sponge in it.
And I've told you, my mum still, at 94, makes 3 cakes. We always have 3 cakes, and the house stops at 4 o'clock for a slice of cake. And it's usually almond, which is my favourite. Coffee, which is tastes of coffee. It's not like bland, like American coffee cake, or Victoria sponge.
I love this so much.
Okay, moving swiftly on. We have Hugh with us.
I'm so excited.
To catch us up on what's going on with Trump.
Catch me up.
And what else do we have?
We have Eliza Schlesinger.
All I want is her workout details. She looks insane, and she's wearing these crazy leather pants, which I'm obsessed by, that don't seem to have anything to hold them up.
Well, they're like pantyhose with leather legs. I don't know how.
Oh, that's a good description.
Is it? Yeah. They're really interesting. Her new comedy special is called A Different Animal, and I really liked it. And I really like her so much. So I'm excited to talk to her.
Well, and I want to talk to her about, there's an amazing part in it where she suddenly starts squatting across the stage with an idea of a butt lip gloss that she's come up with, which is so funny. I just spit take. She's such an eccentric. I'm very excited to talk to her. And then, of course, we should try and get Craig and Michelle on from their podcast onto our podcast, because they're going to be talking about relationships.
I never like to hear about a competitive podcast. They're just
why don't we ride in tandem with them? It doesn't have to be competitive. People have got plenty of time to listen to things.
Oh, sure. Are you up to? I have a lot of travel coming up in my family. I'm going to France. Half my family is going to Nepal. I'm very
Why aren't you going to Nepal?
I don't want to go there. I don't want to do a hike that's difficult. I'm going to do a different hike, actually. I'm taking my daughter to France next week, and we're going to climb a different mountain. We're going to climb a mountain of Camembert.
Oh, how delicious.
Oh, God.
So jealous. Lots of baguettes, camembert, fashion, I've got tons of fashion tips for you from, I know the best resale stores in Paris, actually.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Yeah,
that's
and you
delicious.
really can pick up fantastic things there, because French women wear something and then just, pass it on immediately.
Of course, it just falls, that beautiful foulard just falls off their body in the streets, and someone collects it.
You have to squeeze your way into it. You're like, you think this fits? I can make this fit.
I love that a size 6 in France is basically like a -2 in America.
Yeah, of course it
Impossible.
is. Yeah, it's like Marks and Spencer's in the UK changed their sizes. British bottoms got so much bigger, but everybody was depressed about it, so they just made the size of the lingerie smaller, so people felt great about themselves, and they were like, "It's amazing, I've put on weight, but now I only need a size 8."
Do you think people listen to this podcast in Canada? Canada's in a tizzy. Everyone I know. We've got Mark Carney now. Everybody's all...
Mark Carney, the former governor of the Bank of England.
There's a real frisson in Canada right now. People are very, very angry. I'm hearing about it constantly. Everyone's blaming me for Trump. Everyone's like, what are we going to do? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm trying to get my passports in order.
So who is... The question I really have is asking for a friend.
Yes.
Who is Justin Trudeau dating now?
Oh, how would I know that, Joanna?
I sort of feel like all
that.
Canadians, like all British people, know each other.
I think that's less true than you think. Canada's a very wide place. A very wide
It
place.
is wide. It is wide. Okay, but is it deep?
It's wide, it's deep, it's tall, it's all of the things.
I still feel like we haven't quite gotten to the bottom of that story of why Justin Trudeau and his wife split up while he was still in office. It doesn't quite make sense to me. It's unusual.
I don't know, but all I know is there's turmoil over there and everybody wants to know where to put their money. And I said, I don't know, guys. Everything's a Ponzi scheme. I don't think anything is safe anywhere globally. So good luck to us all. Good luck and God bless.
Yeah, good luck, America.
Anything going on with Melania that we should key into before we
Well, I think
begin?
she's disappeared again, hasn't she?
Disappeared.
She's disappeared again.
She just faded right back into the bush like Homer Simpson. She just retreated right back into the hedge. She's gone.
And interestingly, Michelle is emerging. Michelle is emerging as her own broadcaster with her podcast. When we said Michelle and Craig, obviously we meant Michelle Obama, just in case people didn't understand. And Craig Robinson, her brother.
Yes.
And they're doing a podcast about relationships and divorce and freedom. I think his divorce not
Right,
hers.
right.
And so Michelle is moving to the foreground, which may worry Donald Trump, because as we know, he was very concerned she might be a candidate against him.
I am actually so confused about why people think that Michelle Obama is going to step forward and run for office on any level. And believe me, I am a person who is looking for that one true, clear voice to speak about politics right now. I am looking for a leader, but she has expressed in 10,000 ways that she is absolutely totally not interested in taking the mantle. And so I'm taking her at her word. I don't know why I nominate Pete Buttigieg. He's very good at speaking. He's an excellent communicator. We should have him on.
We should have him on. That's a very good idea. Okay, well, let's see if we can get him on for next week. All right, so what else do we need to discuss? Or are we ready to bring on Hugh?
Oh, let's bring on Hugh.
Should we bring on Hugh?
Yes.
Okay, do you think he's going to eat a flower? If you can get Hugh to eat a flower, a doughty Scotsman.
Have you seen Hugh's complexion? He eats so many flowers. I'm certain of it.
Yeah, he might have a flower smoothie.